Hey everyone, welcome to week 2 of building Wellsworth. I apologize for this being out later. Originally, the goal would be to have everything done and uploaded and set to be released by Thursday night. Unfortunately, I've been very busy this week with some last minute paperwork for school. My school is going to be starting this coming week. So, yeah, I did get building done, as you saw in the or as you're going to see, I guess. Sorry, I've recorded this intro once or twice now. But as you're going to see, I did get some work done, not a lot. And because I went from, originally I was going to do track for all you. I was going to talk about ballasting the track, how I do it, and whatnot. But I came to a realization, as you'll hear me talk about, I had to do something first before I did track and before I continued on with the mock. I think I'd be very happy with what we did this week and the idea of its progress. Where last week, I will say where week 1 of this series was a lot bigger and better, I think, than week 1 of Viral Blade Ridge, where we actually had building started, because I had to actually even figure out if this plan was going to even work. So with week 2, we talk a little bit, as you'll see, about the backside of the mock. So I'm going to stop talking, and we're going to get into it right now. Alright, so as I was saying in the intro, I changed up what we were doing this week. I went from track to the backside of the mock. I had a huge realization hit me, which I do with a lot of other projects, even though they're smaller, is I build the main part, like this is what I'm focusing on in my head, which would be Wellsworth Station, the platforms, the 3 rail lines running through. Then what I would have done is, okay, let me get these built up. Oh crap, I gotta build stuff behind it. Let me rip the station apart, or let me just work around it. Just be 100 times more difficult than it needed to be. So I realized I gotta work on the back side. So I went ahead and I did that, and I realized as I pretty much got done with what I put together, this lower wall and then the this very edge of a building, is I didn't record any of it, the beginning, the middle, but I am gonna record the end. So what happens is I looked at a whole bunch of reference images. There's a small, in the model era, especially the early model era, there's a building that sits right here, right by the siding. When you look at the images, I will agree it's more the dark tan color. However, as far as I'm aware, dark tan does not have, or I think it's like sand yellow, if you want to go official Lego colors, does not have this arch piece. And when you look at the building, it has that distinctive arches that go along the side, and I went for the physical over the color accuracy. The roof is the right color, which kind of stinks because the road is the exact same color, so it's like, it kind of looks a little odd, but it's okay. I gotta say, I'm very pleased with how that turned out. I know Gordon's kind of blocking a good bit of it, but there we go, that's a little better. I had a lot of fun building this, and the idea of just watching it turn out. Building it was boring and kind of annoying, but as it kind of, you can start from the bottom, keep going, get the arches in, then figure out how long it's going to be, and then you start to add in the little roof, the slope. You're like, oh wow, this is great. And then the nice part is about it only kind of being a cutaway section is I left the studs up there, and I really like them. Originally I was going to try to find some cheese wedges, or the double cheese wedges, to put up top, and I said no, leave it, it looks good. I'm really trying to work on, especially in this mock, the blending of studded surfaces and tiled surfaces. I think road being tiled is great. I think leaving the studs on top of that little edge of the roof is great. I haven't decided what I'm going to do right here on this back lower wall. When you look at images, you realize there's the building, and then there's this lower wall. The images I'm referencing for this, one of them comes from the Henry Special Cole episode. I'm sorry, I can't remember its name. Another one I reference when we over here for this area is Percy Runs Away, where he's right outside the signal box at Wellsworth. And then there's a third image of Gordon and Thomas, and again, I can't remember what the name of that is, but it's where it's one where Thomas is always waking Gordon up, so Gordon pulls him along the express. So there's an image of Gordon pulling into the station, and so we get to see some of this back, kind of just behind the station a little bit, which is the building, and then this little wall. In reality, I personally, if I had every part and every color, I'd swap them. Make this the regular sand kind of color, and this the dark sand. But it's all right. I'm okay with it. It looks great. You see the road going over here, and then a little parking lot. This is where I kind of take some liberty from the CGI era. Probably the only thing, maybe one of a few things that I'm going to actually take from the CGI era, just because I think it looks nice. It'll look nice. I'll go ahead and kind of fill this area out right here. I don't know if I'll put some cars in there. I don't know if you hear anything in the background, but someone just knocked something over upstairs. That, and then we'll continue on with the signal box. We'll go ahead and talk about that part in the next section, just because I still got a little bit of messing around with it that I want to do and kind of plan out what I want to say. So I'll see you in the next part. After a little bit of thinking, I've finally come up with a basic idea of what I want to do back here in this corner. As you just saw in the previous section, I talked about the far right side of the back of the mock and kind of coming up the center behind the main station building. And then I briefly just gestured to this side about how signal box was the only thing I had planned 100%. And as you can see, I have a cutout here. All the buildings are actually built directly on the base plate, where everything else is going to be brought up using plates as detail. Now, the nice part about the front of the mock is this is going to be the rail yard, or Wellsworth yard. So I can just use tan, mixing in gravel and all that. Unfortunately, right here in this corner is the only kind of vegetation part, which it'll be fine. I just got to blend it all together. And one of the big struggles I have is blending such, I'm going to say, giant gaps in color. Sand and, the Lego green is just a big difference to make. And figure that out. Now, once you add in some plants, I just added in some very basic stuff based off the image I had. There was a bush, a little fence, and then the signal box goes there. I moved this out of my way so I can get behind it. The rest of that's going to be green. The nice part is it's going to be a very small part of the mock, so I'm not too worried. I think as long as I put enough stalks, grass pieces, maybe a tree or two back there, I think it'll be fine. I don't think there's much to worry about at all. I think it'll, I just got to get this blend. Really, it's just this part right here needs to be done well. I plan on kind of making this part just like the rest of, sorry, the floor was creaking, just like the rest of the mock, how it's going to be all tan, pretty much, except for that corner and the road. So overall, I think it's going really well. There's not much to show you other than just putting down plates and tiles and bricks. Unfortunately, I should have time-lapsed all that. I didn't. Next week, we are going to talk about the track more and how I go about ballasting the track. Unfortunately, that was, well, not unfortunately, but that's what I thought I was going to do this week. So I built all of them, and then I realized I left a part out, so I've been trying to redo all of them. Those are the ones I've redone. So I only have 2 left to fix, and then 1 I'll be doing on camera for you guys next week. I did time-lapse some of the putting together a couple of these, but after a while, they take so long to do. But we'll get into that next week. So this corner, as I was saying, we're going to get the vegetation now. It's going to be the most natural part of the mock, probably. I'm going to order in parts for the signal box later. That's kind of one of my last things I want to do, since it's just a smaller build physically, where I got a lot of stuff I want to line up. Since I have this one built, all I got to do is buy the parts in a different color and replicate it, so I'm not worried about putting the signal box together. I'm more worried about the stations and stuff like that. However, this is the update for this corner. Otherwise, unless I can think of something else, we'll probably actually go end off the video here. Keep this one of the shorter segments. Again, I don't need these to be too long, but I want to kind of get up, kind of just show you what I'm doing. Unfortunately, it's been so long since I've kind of done some recording and a building series. I made a mistake here where the large majority of building was done, forgetting to record that for you guys, so I do apologize. But otherwise, let's end out the video. Alright, so that was week 2. Not as much, not a lot done, I would say. If we want to go as far as like part numbers, yeah, I put a lot of parts down on this mock, and it took time. I'd actually redo a little bit where the well, I'm going to call right now the parking lot ended, and the kind of natural grass and sand continued, or dirt, whatever we want to call it. But I also actually, before we talk more about what we did here. I want to apologize for week one. Now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't actually watched it. I had this weird thing where I just put it all together, edited it, and by edit it, I mean I just put all the clips in order and then saved it and posted it. I don't think I edited the intro or the outro, so you probably have me walking back and forth the camera. So hopefully either A, I didn't say anything stupid or whatever, but I apologize. So I'll be sure I edit this week, and from now on, it's just been a while since I've done something like this. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as much as I could. Don't get me wrong, putting down a whole bunch of tiles is a lot of fun, but I will say the highlight was getting that kind of facade of the building. Sorry, I was trying to think of the word. I want to say facade, not facade, for some reason. But it's back there in that corner. I think it looks great. I don't think much of that's going to change. Might be some minor details here. I strip up this part here to replace it with this. For the most part, though, that looks great. I don't know how much you can see right now, where the camera's pointed and what detail, but I have kind of already started for next week. I'm going to kind of come up with the idea for how I want to do the station walls. That kind of sounds weird, but basically I have to decide if I want to do pillars of brick or if I want to stagger them and build across. Mainly, there's advantages to both, and right now I'm kind of figuring that out, especially because I have to get some windows in there. So this coming week we're definitely going to talk about that, even if it is brief. And I think we actually are going to do some of the track next week, though I'm waiting on parts. I think I'll have enough in a certain part where I might specify the video title even more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you're enjoying this. Again, I haven't been as active on YouTube this week because of being busy, but be sure to check out my, did I say YouTube? On Instagram. I'm sorry, I'm a little lost. I just got home from work and I wanted to get this up and done. But go to Instagram. I haven't been as active this week, but I try to be as active as I can. I hope to have some Star Wars stuff out here. I don't know what's going to happen because this first week I have class. It's technically not the start of the fall semester. It's the last week of summer classes, and it's a prerequisite class for my fall classes, and it's a week-long class. So I'm not sure what this week's going to bring, but I'm going to try to have something for you all this coming week. If not, don't be surprised if I decide to skip this coming Friday and put episode 3 out the following Friday. Otherwise, I want to thank you all for watching. Follow me here. Follow me on Instagram. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Hit the dislike button if you really didn't like it. And otherwise, in the description, email and Instagram username if you want to chat with me. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video.